All right, here we go. We are on that.
Have y'all tested the little boy? We've tested the little boy.
Yeah, we go.
Good evening, good afternoon. We are moving over, I know. I want to thank you guys for coming out. I know that with today being a testing day, that it makes for a long day. For those of you that are so blessed to not have it to be a testing day, happy for you. But welcome to our final meeting of the year, our May general meeting. And I'm going to give way now to soon to be Dr. Hughes. You get called Dr. Hughes all the time. That means it's on the horizon.
It's on the horizon.
It is.
I got 30 hours towards. I guess I need to go and finish that theology degree.
Yeah. It's gonna lead us in prayer.
Well, let's pray.
All right.
Precious Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to come together under GAABSE, God, to discuss the business that pertains to this organization. We thank you for every person that is here, those that are on their way, and also for those that desire to be here, but we understand with many of the business things that are happening, unable to do so. We ask that you will make all hearts and minds clear to be on one accord as we are discussing whatever the areas that under the direction of our president and all the members and the officials of this organization. We thank you for the children that we serve, and we ask that you continue to give us the strength to guide and lead them. And we just give you the glory for this wonderful day. In Christ's name I do pray. Amen.
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 All right, if everyone will please stand for the reading of the litany. We dedicate this meeting to the qualitative improvement of education for African American students and the collaborative support of African American educators. We rejoice that African American educators and supporters are assembled under the banner of the Texas Alliance of Black School Educators. We ask God's guidance as we deliberate concerning the issues affecting the education of African American students and the role and importance of African American educators. To the honor of the Black community and to all of those who share a responsibility in the education of African American children. To the administrators, teachers, parents, and community leaders who are responsible for the quality of education for African American children.
We dedicate this meeting
to overcome the low levels of performance for the masses of our children, the loss of African educators, and the serious question about the content of education, traditional, academic, and cultural.
We raise our collective voices in urgent demand for equality and excellence in education.
To the call for new and extended independent African American initiatives in the education, to the need to redress prior deprivations caused by slavery, segregation, racism, and poverty.
We pledge our commitment to do what is necessary for ourselves, as we understand that some things we must do for ourselves. We, the benefactor of many, who shed blood and life years to bring us to this point, are grateful for our heritage and this opportunity to go forward with the unfinished legacy. We dedicate ourselves to the education and service of African American children and educators throughout the nation. Thank you. All right. Welcome, 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 welcome.
Welcome. Those of you that traveled afar and this is your first time coming out, we are beyond excited that you are here. Yes, this is our last meeting, but we know that this is the first of many works that you're going to jump right into for GAABSE, so we're excited about that. Our plan is to go through our general business to gain some information and feedback from you as we have our summer planning session, and then for the important business of elections, because the work has to continue. And in order for the work to continue, we need leaders and we need people to plug in. So without further ado, JC, will you give us the minutes?
Is this right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So our minutes from April 17th, they have been distributed. Or maybe didn't hear about it. Let's see.
Here they are right here. Don't need a copy of those. Anybody?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, well, we have a copy of the minutes. Sorry. Okay, so let me go over those. The general meeting was called to order at 7:15 by Stacia, and we had the prayer, and then the litany was led by Angela. We discussed, we had the welcome, and we read the minutes, the financial report. We did purposeful PD with Dr. Courtney Johnson, who's the author of Math Fluency and Problem Solving, and Nicole C. Smith, who is with Meland Financial Planning. Our old business covered TPI, the ABSE Social, the TAPSE Conference, the John Washington Scholarship Committee, the new qualifications for the John Washington Scholarship, the Twitter chat, Diamonds and Pearls, constitutional amendments, Talking Black in America screening, and our new business was the gala and the May elections. And then we provided the link under our remarks, and our closing was at 6:37, and our next meeting was going to be at Clark Hill. So that concludes the information. Do I have a motion to accept?
Make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Thank you. There's a motion to accept. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Okay.
Next, we'll have the financial report. Everyone should have a copy of that. There. Okay, so the financial report for May the 15th, 2018. Ending balance as of April the 17th, 2018 was $13,806.51. We've had income of $552.38, bringing the balance to $14,358.89. We've had expenses in the amount of $52.58, bringing the GAABSE total to $14,306.31, with the John Washington Scholarship Fund being $4,193 and counting, because we are still receiving donations, and the GAABSE membership balance being $10,112.57. Is there a motion to accept the financial report for audit? I move to accept. Is there a second? It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
All right. Great. So moving right along, how many of you have seen on Twitter or via email or have participated in the Lopez Listen sessions? So we have a general idea. So for those of you that are not familiar, our new superintendent came in and is doing a 90-day tour of the district. He is taking time to sit down with different community members, different members within GISD to get information. So as he is formulating his vision for what he wants in the district, he's taking input from people here in GISD. And so following his lead, as a board, we decided that as we go into our summer planning, we wanted to know what the members thought so that it could help guide our planning when we look at what GAABSE will be doing next year. So we're going to have our own GAABSE Listen session. Now, at his session, they have different tables. They have facilitators working at the tables. We have a nice, intimate-sized group. So we're going to work within our tables we have here, and it is on the premise of 3 basic questions. The first question is, what would we like to continue doing? What are the things that we feel are successful, things that we want to continue to be our traditional stamp here in GAABSE? The second question is, what are the things that we think we need to stop doing? Perhaps it's not having the impact that we want it to have. It's not meeting the objectives of the organization. And then the third question is, what are new things that we would like to try to take on as an organization? Now, I do want us to remember that as we are thinking about what GAABSE does as a whole, we have an umbrella to kind of guide where we're going as an organization. So we've been charged by our president of TAPSE to make sure that we meet 4 needs. We have a Teacher of the Year recognition. We have professional development, some sort of community and youth development program, as well as networking. So thinking about that as kind of the overarching theme to guide what we do as an affiliate Just remember that as we're thinking about things we want to continue, things that we want to stop, and things that we want to start anew. So I'm going to give way to our facilitators, Danielle and Rhonda, and I'm going to let them come up and lead us in this discussion. Right. I can hold it. Oh, yeah, sure. All right. No problem. Yeah, we can do this. I have blue dots. Okay, do we have a stand? No. I would stand. I'm okay, well, you stand. I'll be stand.
You go. So the first question is, what do we want to continue? And so maybe as a table or, with people next to you, kind of just talk about that, have the conversation a little bit. Then after a couple of minutes, we'll come back, get some feedback on what we want to continue as GAABSE, and then we'll come back and then kind of do a voting on the two topics. So right now, I'm just kind of talk amongst each other. We'll come around while everyone's talking, and get in the conversation as well. And then after a couple of minutes, we'll come back and then get some ideas. Any questions about what we're doing? No? All right. So it's what do we want to continue to do as an organization?
And after at least a couple of years, throw the boys in there.
Maybe we can open some our resources to him. I think stay sharp. So support them as we go.
Yeah, what is that? The youth project, that was really the youth development.
I think that they need to
Okay. Okay, I'm listening. Scholarships.
Yeah, for sure. And keep, not every meeting, but like the last one we had, they're talking about investing your money, because as poor teachers, we may not even have a TRS fund to draw from. Yeah, professional development, right, and personal development. Right. And what's the guy did on math was great. We just need to get him in our district. Yeah. So you had your own guinea pig. That's great.
You ladies have
People starting.
Ma'am, do you have something you want to add? What we're gonna continue to do as a organization, what would you like for us to continue to do? You just sitting in, okay. All right. Anything else on that one?
See, and now we don't know. And I'm kind of thinking, I know, like we can go back because we have a YouTube channel and you can see, and some of them at the most, I've seen like 17 views on some of the meetings, but it doesn't show me, I didn't go into when they're watching it. So,
I'm not saying to keep it. I was just asking to see if it was worth keeping.
Yeah. That's a good question. Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. So then what we'll do now is look at the things that were stated to say to continue. And the second part of the whole Lopez lessons is to go through and prioritize, and that you're only allowed to choose your 2 top favorites. So we as a board will take all of these, but if there's something that has to get cut out, something has to be modified, I want you to think about your 2 most important, the 2 that you like. I want that for sure. If we scale back, I don't want this to ever go away. So we'll mark those 2. So everyone just think of your top 2 votes, and then Danielle will mark those, and then we'll see which out of these.
So we only have 4, right?
So we have mentoring, support the bow tie boys in diamonds and pearls, college tours, scholarship funds, gala, professional and personal development during meetings.
Well, is the gala a part of the scholarship fund?
No.
No, because if you don't have the gala, you don't have the scholarship funds.
Well, yes and no.
So,
So,
They give donations, Maybe
Right.
not
but it ain't
big,
enough to do the scholarship funds.
maybe not as much.
not as much, but there is, so we talked about having other scholarship, fund generated through fundraising different ways. And we looked at different fundraising options. So if we were to do, because in the past we've had where the gala hasn't generated as much money. So it kind of just depends on if we're able to put on the gala without pulling as many funds. But we do have the ability to fundraise.
If it's not to fund the scholarship.
Well, that is the purpose. The purpose of the gala is to fund the scholarships. But sometimes it doesn't always fund the scholarships if the overhead is more than the sales that are generated, if we don't make as much at the silent auction. Now, we've made a whole lot more at the silent auction lately. That's why we added in the live auction piece to kind of generate some more funds with that. We added in the competition with the schools.
I get it, but what I'm trying to understand is, would you have the gala if you didn't have the scholarship fund? If you weren't trying to fund the scholarship? No.
So yes, we would still have the gala because it's our Teacher of the Year recognition. So we would still have a Teacher of the Year recognition program.
You need to put the TOY there then.
For the
So you
gala
can
part.
recognize a teacher without having a gala.
Yeah, you could have it where it's not as
You can have a
grand a
gala
scale.
without funding the scholarship.
But I'm
Yeah.
saying, when the gala was created
Mhm.
with the GAABSE organization,
Yeah.
it was created with the scholarship fund in mind. Is that not
Right.
correct? Is that what you're saying? So I'm trying to figure out why there's.
Then we just took what people said and wrote it down.
Right, but what I'm saying is, you can do, but if those are together, then you only have to choose between 4.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
what
it's
you're
that in
saying.
there.
Right. Then you don't have to make a choice between those 2. That's my point.
So you want us to put these 2 together?
If they go,
Mhm.
back
It
when we,
does.
yeah, they
When we
go
first
together.
started, it was to generate funds for scholarship.
Mhm.
And, but we from 14, we got kind of lax because we got a big chunk of money from TABSE because of all that work we did for.
And we still have most of it.
Yes.
I don't have any problems with putting them together, but the gala to me is not just scholarship, it's celebration
Right.
as well as recognition. I don't have any problem with putting them together.
Right, well, we
So we
were
don't
part
have
of the
to
beginning of
decide.
the gala. That's why I'm wondering, when did it become a separate versus together?
And I, yeah.
Suggestions that went down.
No, but what I'm saying, if we're cutting it down, that could easily be cut. One of those could easily be cut if you're doing it the way you
Top
want.
2,
Yes,
Yeah,
the
we
top
just want to
2.
know what the top 2 would be out of here. And,
Put 3 and 4 together.
We're not
We
saying
can
we're
put
cutting,
the-
because we probably won't.
right,
But
we're just saying because when we sit and plan, we look at what's going to be the number one priority. And the biggest piece in looking at priority is who's working and how many people will work. Because, like, for example, just for the gala, we were there at what time? 9?
9 in the
And
morning.
9 in the morning, all the way until 30 minutes before the gala, run home, change, come back, and then until
It was a
midnight.
board plus 2.
Yeah, so looking at what are we gonna do if we don't have those same people working? you know, like how to make sure these things are sustainable. But yeah, so these definitely can be put together.
I'm just gonna.
Instead of go, bam.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Quick fix.
So top two. Think of your top two.
Can we give people dots?
She's got the dot.
Or we have enough where they can come use. I definitely. Are we doing dots now?
Yes. Yes. So, and we've got markers where you can come and put
That would be better.
put your mark. Yep, on your two.
On your top.
Your top two. So you can just put a dot next to your top two. Your top two.
Okay, so sorry.
Yeah.
We're gonna give
Guys. Bam, bam.
What do you think, Mark? What do you think?
Oh, you see, I'm taking, I'm making notes. What do you like for it? When it's still not taking notes?
I got some more markers.
I got more markers.
Need a marker.
I'm good.
Marker.
I'm learning.
Marker.
We live on Facebook, man.
Yeah.
I'm in the I'm in Nova Scotia.
Thank you. Did everybody get one? That one and one?
16.
Yes, those days are bad.
We can only do two.
Yeah, my daughter graduated Saturday. White payroll.
Oh, I'm not. Want me to put that stuff in? Yes, please. And keep your marker because you'll use it again. Okay. All right. Ready for the next one?
Yes, we're ready.
So next we want to focus on, like, the first one was what do we want to continue, and now we want to talk amongst each other and see what do we want to stop. So is there anything as far as the 4 pillars that Stacia went over, anything that we feel is not meeting what we need to do as an organization, as a GAABSE organization, that we want to stop?
So talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Sales, which I think.
I don't know how successful the college schools are. I don't know if it's well enough communicated. I don't want to stop it, but because our students must be given the opportunity to go, even if they don't attend a certain college. Because you'd be amazed, and I heard this, that we're at Walmart. You know, my kids never step up the campus. Never. I mean, forget it.
Well, I think that we maybe should stop it because now we're at I think we should learn, lots of things to do. We did this year, but we did, but I don't know how else to advertise.
Guys, word of mouth.
Yes, word of mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Right, but it's still back.
And we also have
Right, but it should be just right. You know what I'm saying? It should go like a solid black. You know, I think, because I'm a scholar and I was I understand.
I don't want my time off.
I know, like,
I don't want to stop it, but I'm just not.
limiting the market.
Well, you don't want to say.
No, but it's gotta stop.
maybe we need to set up and get it all together. That might not be worth the time for the views that you see.
That's what I just gave you, so. How about some more stuff? What do you guys think? It's not working. We need to stop paying, or should that be start?
Well, you got the money, please stop.
Stop and not petition.
That don't return maybe?
Oh, you talking about the members?
Yeah,
Okay,
because we have over 100 members.
Okay.
She was do something plain. We had over 200.
Well, you
On
know,
Facebook. You remember that? 200 on Facebook. About 20 we show up.
No, it's always like.
It is on their resume.
Right, yeah.
And you know,
Do you all ever look at the graphs, see what meetings have the highest attendance and maybe why?
well, we got that age-old problem. We got those 3 years stopping. The elementary, high school get out at 2:30. So if you gonna sit around in 40, or you sit around till you come to a 5 o'clock, you know, and then middle school get out at 3:50. So you kind of rush to get there. They get out late. And you get the elementary, you get out at 3:10. So.
Think about one more minute.
Maybe that's all, that's how we need to stop it.
I mean, we can't make people tell you.
But I do think.
We did. Courtney presentation.
Yeah. You might have to look at it and start looking at your data. And maybe.
We used to do that when I was here. 10 years ago. We used to have to pay first.
This
Just saying that she.
People probably heard that, right? You're right. That's right.
And sometimes you gotta afford people to come in with them. They're not gonna do it. They're gonna show up and bang their bus. You know, they want to do it.
What you got?
Got that anymore? Stop.
How many people?
So I think because people like there's a lot of people keep I told you, just that never happened, but I guarantee you, there's more stupid people coming here in the future.
All right.
You can get a school running, you know, I got here. So.
Okay. No. Okay, no.
I don't.
All right, we have 3. Okay, good.
Wow.
All right, so what we got? Okay, we have stopped the YouTube meetings because there is poor attendance for those. Stop monthly GAABSE meetings and stop the PD stop PD during the meetings, but rather do it district wide. So offer it to more than just the members. I would imagine what you're saying, right? Okay. I said but, so I'll be more positive and say and. Yes, ma'am.
And that is something that is in the works. Danielle, Gabetta, Angela, and myself are meeting and working with Mr. Porta and Melissa Hill and organizational learning. And so we're just in the waiting in the water stages of that right now. So it is something that we are working towards. Good. Okay.
Okay.
And then our last one. Where do we want to start?
What do we want to start doing? What do we want to start doing as an organization?
What about this? We talked about this like planning. What about HBCU job, HBCU college fair? You'd be surprised how many councils would ever know what HBCU is. And have it set up like your regular college fair. Invite HBCU.
We partnered with the Motown. Last year we did not. This year we did. And it's during. But it did.
Recruiting.
We do that. Is it continue?
Okay. Yes, I got it.
Pictures and follow already. About one more minute.
And I know that the GEA, what we do is we have a person on each campus, and that person on each campus, do we have to do one person?
Hi, good morning.
We don't have one member of those kids.
I think we need to start to include the membership more in committees at the beginning of the year, like establish committees in the beginning that meet and for instance, we could have a membership recruitment committee, and all year long, that's all they do is work on recruitment and membership, and that's their job throughout. And so the person that is for our chair is also making sure that they mobilize that group.
That's good.
Can we get access to the web, or no, that's only?
Not
But y'all have a website. WAP, I mean, the stuff, the WAP, slap.
Yeah, I mean, you mean like you put it in there for?
I know.
Definitely do it in September meeting. Yeah. So far, stuff about August, put out in August.
Because I think we all started large delegation of just because whatever they call it. I mean, like delegation, come up with some the presentation. I get more people involved with GAABSE. Create a group presentation for GAABSE.
When we have PD, can we get CEUs? So why don't we start doing that? Maybe, do we do that for GAABSE? Do we get CEUs for Mr. Johnson and for those two presentations?
So-
One more.
The CEUs for
CPE credit for our PDs.
Right.
How are we recording these?
So we have it, it's just a matter, Angela is in the process of doing the certificates for our last meeting, but we have
So-
our.
Okay.
This one here, it's like, when you first, you come back, you like have a recruitment.
All right,
That first-
Get those final thoughts on the board.
As well, recruitment, so- I'm talking like this, sound like all people that doesn't, I'm still looking for school starts, that they can have a chance, people come on in the gaps and come in and learn about.
That's just the new people. To recruit, they let us send out an email at the beginning of the year after, you know, that we send it out like twice. If you don't join, then you no longer receive it. And so then people are kind of out of sight. Yes, sir, 31st.
And this piggyback on something Mark and Phyllis know. At our taxi conference, we have a taxi coaching train. They come in like on Friday night, they socialize, but they meet all day Saturday. And then these are head coaches, want to be coaches, aspiring. I mean, they're all there, and you got a panel of coaches. Yeah, and talk about. This was the last conference I said it for 2 hours. And boys, they had some good questions.
Yeah, I'm on the
Yeah.
know if they were in the playoffs.
Right, see that.
That's a good thing.
Activation, what? Activation for membership.
How we gonna react?
Well, you go to the membership, the whole membership list.
Yeah, whole membership process.
Get back to it. I missed a year of reactivation just because I was busy during the beginning of the year and after them 2 emails, nobody said anything, so I just wasn't a member. Not because I didn't want to be a member. So by creating this committee, that's all they know. Hey, get in here, get in here. That's all they do. See this and know what that is about. So that's, I think that would be really.
Recruiting in general, like I say, you got people from other areas, and there is no ABSE, what you gonna call it, there's other areas that, as well, not just internal.
That's need to know how many times.
We gotta start tapping
outside.
By people like myself, who from Mesquite, I can do Mesquite, whoever goes from another area, that area, they're getting outside.
That's the answer. Tapping into these.
Drive was killing me. You made that drive a few times. That drive was killing me.
I don't know how people but you know how you go in there to pay for AFC and they're there to that's what I'm reading, like retired person or somebody who had time to actually.
That's true.
Y'all need to
Set up, you know, their wallet guarantees. They come out and answer questions, they just, you live half of the day. That's what your school.
And some of our principals.
Can we also address moving the meetings around the district, keeping the meetings at one central place? Just kind of y'all's input on that too.
So.
Because I'm just asking because, you know, we used to keep it all at student services that year. We had every meeting there. And then the next year we tried moving it around the district. Do y'all have any thoughts on, you know?
I think moving it around is better than
Okay.
one static place.
But, you know, again, trying to have it still.
Oh, it's, I have to do that like 2 months ahead when they want to have it.
30, local dues, 30, 25.
Look,
And
it's
the
the same.
pencil, they wouldn't even pay
We gotta
for it.
constantly get out of this.
They still gotta make sure, they still do that on the campus.
Partnerships for.
You gotta be there.
Oh, okay,
And
okay. Okay, come here. Come here. And then I have one too, Rhonda. Okay, yes, ma'am. We don't know.
I missed that. It was very creative. Okay. She makes it look. I'm only missing two.
You know, he's on a timer. That everybody's over for.
Members to not just sign up. And then membership.
What now?
To membership, aggressive membership for being active. I guess that would be being active.
For being active?
Yeah.
Okay.
To sign people up and sign up every total. I'm not trying to think of the church. You're gonna have to use Mike. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so
80.
And then, giving, free membership to the Golden Apple winners.
No.
I just feel like when you're part of the
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah.
research and whatnot, and that's all.
Not that much now.
Does she stuff over there? Oh, yeah, she's not that much now. She's been over here probably about 5 times.
That's
Not that
Oh, did we get, all right, by monthly meetings? That was it.
Yes. She has so much stuff.
Anything else? We need to start doing that. Anything else? Really?
District events. Like, you know, we have our shirts on and we working at, say, like, the college fair. Or meetings that they have in CCC, stuff like that. And people say, well, you know.
And parents can join.
We did the college fair.
Yeah.
Y'all have a table? No. Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like we have, like, so, I don't know if you have your time. Right.
Okay.
Yes.
They only get 2 dots? They only get 2 dots?
Only 2 dots.
Oh, wow.
I know.
What's with that?
Only 2 dots.
Yes, I'm sorry. Oh, I gotta have the whole, yeah. And I'm not even talking about school kids, I'm talking about
Your own personal kid. Okay. So up here we have, what do we want to start? Recruit new teachers and follow up. Committees created annually. Create group presentations for TABSE. Reactivation of old members. Recruit outside of Garland area. Retired members recruit for GAABSE. Male mentoring partnerships with organizations, i.e. frats. Campus delegates, aggressive membership for being active, give free membership to Golden Apple winners, bi-monthly meetings, more visible at district events. Okay? Anybody need some clarification or wanted some more explanation of any of those before we vote?
Could I just say,
Yes, sir.
number 5 is we always call an area line. So the A, the second A in our title, let us know that we can get, you know, Muskie, those other people who do not have enough.
Thank you. Yes.
And several of those around membership, so it looks like a lot, I mean, not a lot, but 3 or so could be combined because membership is on everybody's mind, not just getting members, but actually active members.
Right. So maybe in the, because it's looking like recruitment. So these two fall into, well, these 3 fall into recruitment. And then once recruited,
And retention.
right.
So which one? Because I can put them on the same number.
So
So number
5, 6, 9.
All 5.
We
Yes.
said giving free membership to a campus rep, that was also part
Yeah.
of ours.
Okay.
Campus rep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's all part of it.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna make them all 5 then, so they're all kind of.
Okay. So we could just,
That's 5.
so whole membership, recruitment, retention. Is there anybody that does have a marker?
Or kind of goes with that, the activation form.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Yeah.
goes back.
Yeah, I'll make that 5. What about, do you want to make the Golden Apple membership a part of 5? Is it still membership or not?
Yes, I think so. Anybody else need a marker to vote?
I think one of the things maybe the coaches, which they cannot meet during the week. We don't have any coaches represented. To do it on a Saturday, every once in a while with them, because I would say 50% of them aspire to be head coaches at some level. Some of them use it as a stepping stone to get into administration, like me.
Right.
And that was a part of my plan. But I wanted to win the state championship before I went to administration. Yeah, no, I'm wrong. So, but maybe a Saturday meeting just for the coaches,
So
male and female.
with bi-monthly, I'm gonna say alternate meeting times, because that's really what she was saying. Have, another opportunity for people to come that can't come,
Right.
In the evening. So bi-monthly, I'm just gonna add alternate.
Just for some stress that themselves. I think most coaches know they are mentors, but just to stress it.
All right, so you're going to put 2 dots, your top 2. And so Danielle came in and put 5s next to all the ones that relate to membership, since all of those will kind of fall together. So all the 5s, that's 1, and then the other numbers. So you're gonna put your 2 dots. You can put about any five, and that'll all count toward 5. Okay. Anybody need a marker?
But don't you
What
think
were
that
the
the
two?
one kind of goes with the app membership plan too?
Yeah.
One is
So,
5.
so you make that 5. Make that 5.
Did we not decide how to?
All right, let's vote. Everybody?
Voting representative,
Oh, yeah.
the voting has started.
Yes.
Yeah, where you trying to go for?
Oh, we did. All right.
Yeah. They're filing the Lopez list right now. Have you do all that brainstorm? Your top two.
Got eliminated, you only had 2. I don't want to do that, you only have 2. I'll bring you one.
Today was we're gonna have one on the spot. See, we're doing both jobs. Yes, Chuck.
I'll keep coming over and meet Mr. King. Mr. King needs to know who he is, or what they going on campus. Oh, what Michelle? I keep getting Michelle up on you.
Hold on, let me do my thing. I like that. That was down there too. Yeah, I like that one too.
You know what?
So, you know,
You can do it. Okay.
also voting. But you know, but you keep going out here making all these little college trips.
That's my job.
That's our son.
Okay. I like this idea with a campus delegate.
You would agree.
See, this is hard.
Well, you know, all the 5s will be represented.
Oh, yeah, I've already voted. Cool. Okay.
Pick the 5.
So- The male mentoring, the reason why I say that is because we go with what's already out there. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We are.
What's important to me?
Oh, we need to tell everybody that we didn't do it on.
This is the committee for membership. I'm putting both of my dots on here. You can. I don't know what
Both times.
Every time she sent out 10. Look at that woman that y'all I don't know. I'll never forget
That should be it.
Right.
Tell me when you're gonna take it.
All right, Stacia, I think we're ready. Stacia, I think we're ready. All right. So now everyone's voted. Now, one thing, we did not vote on the, what do we want to stop? So we did not vote on that. I know we just have 3, but I don't want anyone to feel like they did not get a chance for their voice to be heard. So if anyone that wants to go ahead and put their 2 dots for the 3 things that we want to stop, please do that. Okay, yeah, you put your 1 dot. Yes, that's smart. Let's do 1 dot. Do your 1 dot. Do your 1 dot. 1 dot. Yes, you got 1 dot too? Okay, I understand. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else? Did we have to pay for the No. Yeah. My question was. All right. So what we're going to do when we have our summer, the board has our summer meeting, we're going to pull this out to help kind of guide our plans for the year. One of our board goals is to actually push out at the beginning of the year a year-long calendar. GAABSE had a great example that they shared during our affiliate presidents meeting, and so that's our goal for next year. So at the very beginning of the year, you see a year-long calendar of what's happening, you know, meeting dates, you know, when events are happening, so you can go ahead and plug those in. Good. Any questions? Well, we sure do. Thank you very much. Let's keep these. Danielle, did you get pictures of?
Oh, let me get pictures of each one though.
Awesome. Okay. For the sake of time, I'm going to continue going through our agenda. At our last meeting, we talked about elections. During this meeting, we will open the floor for nominations. We pushed out to the membership proposed constitutional changes. And so I want to share those results with you. We had 34 people that responded. And so the very first proposed change, we recommended that it say, because currently there's no verbiage, all executive board members shall be required to attend 90% of executive board meetings and 80% of general membership meetings and 50% of events. Any executive board member who will not be in attendance at either the executive board or general meetings and events must provide written notice to the president prior to the meeting. Failure to do so will result in dismissal from office and the forfeiture of duties by a vote of 3/4 of the executive board present at the next executive board meeting. And so 91% voted yes, 8% voted no. On the next proposed change was to add a part D, because right now it just has part A, B, and C. The president corresponding, the president, this should say recording, secretary, financial secretary, and parliamentarian will be elected. No, it's right. The president, corresponding secretary, financial secretary, and parliamentarian. Oh, did it shut off? It's 6 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock? Well, and will be elected in odd numbered years. The vice president, recording secretary, and treasurer will be elected in even years. And so the rationale is to prevent the entire board from exiting and having a brand new board. 97% said yes, and then 2.9% said no. And then the last recommendation was a term of office shall be 2 years or until a successor is elected and installed. An individual may not serve more than 2 consecutive terms in that office. And the rationale is to prevent an individual from holding the same office for more than 4 years. Currently, the way it's written, someone could serve in an office indefinitely because it does not say they cannot. So we had 94% that said yes, 6% that said no. So due to the voting results, what we're going to do today
is hold nominations and elections, well, hold nominations for vice president, recording secretary, financial secretary, and parliamentarian next year. Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to make a motion
Mhm.
to approve the results of the voting on them.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
That you can parliamentarian.
There you go. Mm-hmm. And there was a second.
Second.
All right, so it has been properly moved and seconded that we accept the proposed changes and the voting for the proposed changes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. Now, Vice President, Recording Secretary, Financial Secretary, and Parliamentarian nominations will be open today. Next year, President, Corresponding Secretary, and Treasurer will be the positions that are elected next year. Okay? All right.
May I ask
Are the
a question
nominations
about
Yes.
the nominations?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anyone who's already served more time than they're supposed to serve?
No, ma'am. Mhm. So what we're going to do today, we're going to open the floor for nominations. You can self-nominate or nominate someone who is not here, and we'll confirm with that person if they accept the nomination. Nominations will be left open throughout this week, and it'll be sent to the general membership. So there's anyone that's not here and wants to be nominated. Then next week, we will do an electronic vote, and that will be sent out to the entire membership. So that voting will end on the 31st of May. So that first week in June, if we have new officers, and we would have our officer installation in combination with our end of the year celebration, which is to be announced. That has not been planned yet, so we can have both at the same meeting. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question as far as the job descriptions for each position, are those posted online in the Constitution?
So currently in the Constitution,
Let me get in here real fast. There's some different papers. Okay, so this is our current Constitution. Officers.
There it is.
Okay, so here are the job descriptions. So Vice President, in absence of the President, the Vice President shall perform the duties and exercise the powers of the President. The Vice President shall also perform such duties as shall be prescribed by the President. The Vice President shall serve as chairperson of the Programs Committee. What was the other one? Recording Secretary, thank you.
Financial secretary.
And financial, okay. The Financial Secretary shall receive and record all monies received by the organization and transmit the same to the Treasurer. The Financial Secretary shall also report on the financial status of the membership when requested to do so. The Financial Secretary shall serve as the chairperson of the Audit Committee and as a member of the Budget Committee. Recording Secretary shall keep and preserve a record of all minutes and proceedings of the sessions of the Alliance and the Executive Committee, whether in or out of regular meetings. He/she shall hold all records subject to the inspection of the Alliance upon request. And then Parliamentarian. The parliamentarian shall be the final authority on the proper rules of order in debate. Thank you for that. Okay.
So you nominate.
So I would like to open the floor for nominations. I'm going to call for nominations for each. I'm so sorry, Miss Smith.
I want to nominate present officers to those positions.
We do not have one for vice president.
I'm going to open the floor and then we're going to take names from the floor. And then in the nominations that are sent out, we're going to put the names that are recorded tonight. So are there any nominations for Vice President? Are there any nominations for Vice President?
I like to nominate Victor as vice president.
Well.
You gotta join.
I'm not even a member.
Oh, you're not a member?
You know,
Victor, we'll take membership
payments.
payments today.
Yeah, we'll take a membership payment with them.
You can take your
Actually, I'll just pay for
So
it.
I'm kind of a little short on money.
I would like to
You can.
have a nomination.
So,
Yes.
Victor,
do you accept the
I
nomination?
accept it, if I was,
Yeah, it is.
Victor,
Nixon.
excellent.
Are there any other nominations for vice president?
What's the salary?
it's an all-female board with you. So get ready.
Are there any nominations for recording secretary?
Angela Daniels.
Thank you. Are there any nominations?
Do you
for-
accept the nomination, JC? Because you were one that were. JC does not accept the nomination.
Are there
I
any
just wanna finish
nominations
that
for recording
dissertation,
secretary?
and I'll be back.
Oh, we have recorded secretary already. For that finance secretary.
So recording, we have a nomination for Angela. I just want to call twice for each position.
My bad.
No worries, no worries. Are there any nominations for financial secretary?
Daniel Twitty, do you accept the nomination?
Yes. Okay. Are there any nominations for financial secretary? I am opening for anyone else. Listen, I'm trying to follow parliamentary procedure. I'm doing it twice like I'm supposed to.
That's true.
Are there any nominations for parliamentarians?
I'd like to nominate Miss Alexander.
I'd like to second the nomination.
He said me.
Miss.
I don't know.
I mean, but. No, not Miss Alexander.
I don't know who you know. I'm sorry. Tell me your name. Oh, Carol Montgomery.
I was like, who is Miss Alexander?
I'm thinking of Cheryl Alexander. No, I don't mean, I'm sorry.
I get removed because I can't make all the meetings. I'm gonna be honest with you.
She'll be a good one.
We do.
We need guidance.
Lots of person.
Do we know if Pamela accepts the nomination?
She does
She's
not.
She does not.
She does not. Are there any nominations for parliamentarian? Are there any nominations for parliamentarian?
Mika Baldwin.
All right.
You
So
accept
I'm
the
gonna
nomination?
I moved that we close on those names that have been submitted.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
It was a question.
What?
Question, yes.
Well,
You said we will be able to still give you names.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sorry.
So these names will be sent out. Nominations will be open for people to submit nominations, and then we'll have a vote. Okay.
You want
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded that we close out the nominations. All in favor? All opposed? Yes.
But you don't wanna close the nominations yet, you just wanna maybe close this portion, it's
Close
still
this
open.
portion of
Yes.
this, I'm sorry, close this portion.
That's why we need a parliamentarian, right? We did a good one.
Right.
Learn more.
Exactly.
You
I don't-
can make that trip.
No.
Colleen.
I can come do once a quarter.
All right.
Maybe all the other functions.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the last order of business,
I have a question.
oh, yes, ma'am.
As far as the parliamentarian position, if there is not one nominated, is it possible that we could have Ms. Montgomery be a temporary one, name her as an acting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Based upon.
Suspending the rules.
Suspend the attendance rule.
Okay, I just, I want to be without one.
Yes. Girl, I don't know why I was saying sure. All right. Acting. You gonna put acting.
All right. So save the date. There's currently plans of a Juneteenth celebration at Harrisville for June 6th. So save the date for that. Ms. Williams, would you like to expound?
11 and 1.
Minister, you on next week? Oh. They turned it on. June
But,
6th.
It's on June the 6th. That's the only day that was open at Harris Hill. And basically what the tentative plans are is that we have our vendor that served us at our gala. We're trying to get him as an approved vendor as we speak, and that he would basically take care of all the food. Bringing in the food was a health department question mark this time now. So we are trying to get him to cater the menu, and we want to, we're trying to get more kids involved. So we have students come in to do a purpose of Juneteenth, have a step team come in, and then maybe a choir from the campuses. But I'm not quite expert. And it'll start at 11 o'clock at Harris Hill. We'll serve in the cafeteria and everybody just kind of, sit where you can sit. And so it was Wendy Etheridge. No, Eldridge.
Her name is
Wendy
Eldridge.
Eldridge's idea, and she went to the superintendent about it. He was very excited about it. So we're trying to revive it.
You said 11 to 1?
11 to 1. Program starts at 11 o'clock.
She dropped the ball last year.
You can
Oh, sorry. I have a call.
Station. Yes, ma'am. I don't mind hosting the next meeting. Thank you. I'll write that down. She's at Biztown for junior achievement. Oh. All right. NAPSI.
That's the book on the TAPSE conference, just pictures from the conference.
Baltimore, Maryland.
So something else to save the date for NAPSI's ConCon 2018. It's going to be in Frisco. The Constitutional Convention is an open-ended process that will generate proposed amendments to the NAPSI Constitution. The Constitutional Convention also serves as an educational leaders think tank that will provide input for the blueprint of the organization as it moves forward. So registration ends on May 31st. The cost is $250 for your registration, and that includes your room accommodations for 2 nights.
That's good.
That's really good.
Yeah. It'll be at the Frisco Hotel. So you go on to NAPSI's website to register. This will be sent out as well to all the membership. Save the date on that. Okay. June 22nd through the 24th. TAPSE is going to have a summer institute, July 26th through the 29th at the Sheraton in downtown Austin. Phyllis, will you please fill us in?
The mini conference, what we wanted to do, most of the teachers basically interpret the conference to be an administrative conference, which it isn't, but that's how they interpret it. So we decided to do a mini conference, open it up to more of the teachers. And so in that, we are having like that Friday, start at 8 o'clock. We're gonna have like a small general session and then go to the state capitol. When you go to state capitol, we're gonna have people from TEA to speak to you, and then also our some of the legislators legislative people who, have our ear in our T5 group for Patsy. Well, they'll be there for us because we're making appointments with them. And they'll be there to speak to us. And for that Friday, we go back in the afternoon, have a general session, and then Saturday, there'll be a general session and then breakout sessions of different, there's the subjects of all the breakout sessions. And that evening, on Saturday evening, we'll have a networking event, you know, just kind of everybody networking with everyone and go home Sunday. The cost is $225 for members of TAPSE and non-members $325.
Does that include the room?
It does not include the room, sorry. The room is $143 a night for the room.
Are you gonna be sharing TAPSE's education agenda with them? With the regular legislators?
Yes, they already know. We're already in the process. T5, we're going on second year with T5. All of that information's on the website under T5.
Just go ahead on and break it acronym down, cause it's not very.
Texas Education
Policy
Institute.
And I know y'all don't have that to bill on.
We don't talk about that. No, but you know, the stuff that we talked about, we had an institute in January in Austin, and that basically gave a basis of what T5 is all about. If you want to know more about it, it's on the TAPSE website. And so we would like everybody to be there if you can. It's a summer institute. So if some of you have especially Title I funds on campus and that they need to spend the rest of the money, you can ask your principal, can you go? But we're having flyers out in a week. So when we get the flyers out, they'll be handing out to everybody.
Thank you. And then lastly, our last Diamonds and Pearls meeting will happen on June 4th. Ideally, we would like to have the girls partnered with a young woman from GAABSE so that they have a point of contact over the summer since we aren't going to be meeting with them. So even if you can't make the meeting but are interested in being that mentor for a young lady to have a relationship with her over the summer, then please let me know. Right now, we've had about 3 to 4 members there that can partner. And so we've had at the most 18 girls, but our core group is about 12 young ladies. And so we would like for each young lady to have their own mentor as opposed to one mentor having like 3 young ladies. So if you're interested, you'll see that in the email that goes out, and please respond back to say yes, and we'll share your information with that young lady at the June 4th meeting. Yes.
Can you just kind of quickly just tell us kind of what y'all done this year?
Sure. So it's been a wide variety of activities with them. We've done where we've talked about setting goals. They've had where they did like a technology, trying to really increase their love for STEAM. So we had Hack Electronics come out and talk to them. We've done activities so that they can work more cohesively, how to problem solve. What are some other things we've done? Taught them a step routine.
The artists that came and did the wood.
Yes. So one of the girls' mom does wood burning art. And so we did show them that, and they created scrapbook pages for their moms. We did a box. What was the box called?
Memory box.
A memory box. Did that with them.
Self-image.
We did, yes. And during Black History Month, we had them to learn about some women in Black history who are not like the Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman. And they did an activity where they saw themselves and why they felt like they related to this woman, kind of thing.
And that panel, that was really good.
We did have a panel discussion with them. So there were 4 or 5 ladies on the panel, and they shared with them their story, their education, how they got to where they are, and the girls were open to ask them questions. No, like I feel like we need to do our wrap-up report because I'm trying to go back each month of what we did. Our main goal was to establish a relationship and have a forum for them to get to know each other. Ideally, we wanted it to be where we were able to break them apart, where our younger girls did some things that were more specific to them and the older girls. But because we had such a small number of girls, we kept them together a lot of the time. Moving forward, the goal is to have 25 girls, like a 25 core strong group, but that's going to require at least a good 10 mentors for that. So that's a quick wrap up. All right. Questions, remarks?
Did they get their pearls?
They will get them at the June 4th meeting, yes. And at our last meeting, we were supposed to work on our t-shirt design. 3 of the young ladies were sick. Their moms contacted me and they didn't come. So we'll have to work on, I guess, our t-shirt at our June 4th meeting, and they'll get their pearls. Anything? Yes,
No
sir.
business we didn't do. B, I hate to bring it up, but Mark wanted it out.
I just don't want you to forget.
Thank you for that, because Spencer does have an update for us. So yes, thank you.
So, good evening, everyone. And the committee is here with me, with the other 2 members of the committee, Wade. It's so enthusiastic. But we did have 18 responses for the scholarship. We have 1 response from South Garland High School, 1 response from Saxe High School, 9 responses from Rowlett High School, 8 online, and 1 turned in. We had 5 from North Garland High School, 1 from Lakeview Centennial. And again, we did not have any from Garland High School, and we did not have a response from Mammoth Forest this year. Benjamin Scott is our recipient. Benjamin Scott is the recipient from Lakeview Centennial. Raymond Trong, I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that correct, is from North Garland High School. Precious and from Rowlett High School. Christine Adelaide from Sasse High School, and Daisy Guerrero from South Garland High School are all the recipients of the scholarships for this year. So we'll, I'm sending this over to Rhonda Williams, and she will put the package together and get all those things ready for us to hand out the John W. Washington Leadership Scholarship.
Yes. And so if anybody's available to go to the senior, yes, that was on the 21st. Yes. Available to go to pass those out. Yes. Awesome. So we'll post those winners on the website as well. And we're happy that we can fund all of those scholarships. Amen. Without pulling from, like, we can fund it from the money generated from the gala. So good job.
Because we were responsible on the site.
Yes. Amen. Any other questions, comments, concerns? All minds being clear.
All righty, brother.
All right. You'll close us out, Mr. Hyde. We sure would appreciate it. Thank you so much. No, you don't want to close us out with a prayer? You're not praying?
I do every night in my sleep. Yes.
Mr. Nixon, would you mind closing us out in prayer?
I'm saying that in my sleep.
I tried, Mr. Washington. I tried.
I passed in the house. Let the pastor do it.
The pastor opened it up. I'll close it.
Okay.
Let the deacon close it out. I'll let the deacon close it out. Give you a bow witness. Almost wasted it for. We thank you, Lord, for what our ears have heard, our eyes have seen, and most of all, Lord, what our hearts have felt. We thank you, Lord, for this GAABSE organization. We thank you, Lord, for the membership that is in attendance and those that are not here. Lord, we pray for those scholarship recipients. Let them understand that the hard work that went into to provide money for them to go forward. And Lord, we ask you to go with each and every one of us as we depart from this place, but never from thy presence. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Thank you guys for coming out. What is it? God bless you. Good night.
I need those markers, please.
Oh, yeah. Huh? Right now. Yeah, you're the one. We do. But we do. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. When I thought the third or the third team, we're at the club, and I thought that was one of our. After two, I don't have it. That's why I don't know. The only thing. Oh, Jason. Oh, yeah, probably one of the jobs. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, they tell me I try to when they have an event. I know. I work with them. How do you know? That's what we now we all gone. Yeah, it's already on the counter now. I see you again. All right, man. All right, buddy. You saw my pictures of when I yeah, I saw. I gotta show you. Oh, that's right. I said we going to go across the mall. Yeah. All right. No, I said I had some folks up there. But you know, I don't think we ever had that. We run down the stage. We run the stage. It's not close enough. We that close. We can set up where we want to. And then okay, but see how they see that? We get set right up front. That's the stage. We want. That's how we can stand in line, right? You know,
tweet like 21 seconds up. It's really good. He said, go forward. Okay. We don't have to.
Yes.
We got right in there. We got right in there.
Mark, I want to say thank you. You've been very punctual on sending out those emails. Keep me informed. I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah. When you said them, I was working on the apartment this morning in Queens, and I put down and put my information on how to get it on time I need it. Several times I need Well, that one is because normally I'm up at 4, I read the mail. And by 7, I'm off the mail. I'm on to the stock market. 9 o'clock, I start talking on the phone. So after that, if you call, if you text me or email me, it ain't no good. You need to call. Okay, we'll try to I try to attend the office once a quarter. So if you have a full calendar, what's happening? I can plug it in on my calendar, then that works better for me. There's always something going on, but something I can move around. You know, like this month. Oh yeah. You know, that's on the agenda. Yeah, you know, you give it to them up front, they can look at it. You still got to reminders.
We ran into some problems like being able
for the principals to be able to give us a firm date on when they could allow us to be in their building. But now we have a new situation, and I don't think it's gonna be an issue.
Okay.
We're hoping.
Okay. And you know, and sometimes even, I noticed that a lot of them live down there, I mean, a lot of people, they love to go to places to eat. I'm not a big fan of that myself, but you know, that's what they want to do, that's what I do. So you might find some business people to work with GAABSE. They might have some restaurant spaces, whatnot, you know, going forward, that they could, that we could have.
Even if it's not every meeting, but every other meeting.
You know, what support that you, could you find some good business people will be part of your membership? I'll put this out there again. Hard part I had to clean with them getting their apps started years ago, or keeping it going with. They kept going to the school, we kept going to the school. And they keep forgetting about the parents. You know, parents are part of the organization too.
That's what was said.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you get the education, but then when you come in for like student service or whatever they have, parents have to come in and do things, let them know about GAABSE. You know, by the way, grandparents, that old library down the street. And you got a college down the street here too. How many of them people are part of? You talking about those tours and stuff? So I'm just throwing that out there. I'm thinking about it. I said this. I remember when I was on the taxi board initially, you guys posted the first taxi up here. Yeah, it's been a while ago. Yeah, it's been a while ago.
714, 715, it was in Frisco, and we were at the Gaylord.
Yeah, that's Gaylord. Yeah, that's the Gaylord. Yeah, and that's my first came, and I was on the taxi board then when I came in to see you guys about that whole piece right there. But that's all the big part. We had the educator piece. I know that they're all busy, and we had that same issue with high school, middle school, elementary. We had to go to 2 different days. That's why I say no to me once a month. You know, we had to go 2 different days to kind of make it easy for them to make it. That's why we had twice a month.
That's what Miss Montgomery was saying. She said, you know, we don't really give people the opportunity.
And even if the president can't make it, we always wait for either the president or the vice president to be at the next one.
You always have a PM faculty meeting and an AM faculty meeting.
Yeah, you know, for like at the board meeting, we talk about what you're gonna put out this meeting anyway. So for those that come on the first one, we don't make it a first or a second choice. You just make it. We're gonna have one first month, maybe we go ahead and pay that for the month, but at least give those people something. You know,
And having it at different times, you know.
and it's been with group of time. It's never gonna be a good time for everybody. And even not even a weekend. In my other program, I had one on the Thursday night, on the first Thursday and the third Tuesday. Makes sense, right? Because everybody goes to church on Wednesday. I got something going on Tuesday and Thursday. So first Thursday, third Tuesday. That's it. And that's in between our board meeting, which is on a Tuesday. You know, it's just going forward to something kind of, you know. But I know you already had. That's why I had to come here and see exactly what you. When she said it was the last minute for the yes, I definitely got to see what you guys are doing. I got my membership. And but that is definitely something to work with. And I don't know what all schools and districts. I know I got Dr. Stewart down there with us now. There's several people I know there in GISD.
First and second with D.
Yeah, he's down there with us. You know, I keep talking to him about it. So we've been trying to get some stuff going on with the clean branch down there. You know, trying to get them, I won't say reestablished, they're kind of somewhat established, but they're not fully established. I can't really figure out what's going on with them. So I had to come here and join you guys because I want to be a part of that. I'm a lifetime member.
Yeah, our president's big push was technology, you know, and getting everybody up and running and getting the YouTube and getting, you know, everything's go paperless, and we have a drive and you can go there and set up a website. So she was able to do all that.
Yeah,
that's really.
I mean, that definitely gets started. I mean, even like with some of the other stuff. Even I started with some of the other organizations, little Google account.
Oh,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's something that everybody can get to. It doesn't cost you anything, but it's not interfering with their personal. I mean, with their professional, because everybody I know, you know, when I was a financial secretary, fantastic, like giving a professional email, but then I couldn't figure out, you know what, this stuff ain't getting through to you because your school is kicking me back.
Right.
You know, it's not working. So, you know, you know, so they give it to you, but then you can't reach back out to them. So sometimes, you know, you just have to go back and kind of feel that. But
And
That's
that,
all.
that was another issue.
Cause I mean, that could
We
be,
couldn't even have a mailbox. And then Stacia had to go and talk to